to decide in like 10 seconds because we got to start this one.
Mm-hmm.
I just need a text from you guys. What you want, where you want it.
What if we got a Walmart pizza?
What do you think?
Make
I'll probably get something else, but I can get you guys Walmart pizza if you want.
Exclusive YouTube content.
No, absolutely not.
We are. If you see me reach off screen and start chewing, I'm not. That's not what you think. Should I just stop the...
I don't know. I mean, she's trying to talk to us right now.
I'm not trying to talk to you. I'm trying to have you guys make a decision.
No.
Jake is desperately trying to get this card to stand up. It looks fine.
Sick. Should we just start?
Yeah. What do you want to eat?
I don't know.
That's not my problem.
I agree.
Figure it out after? Is that what you're doing, Jacob? Or are you doing it now? Based on how much you're doing, I don't think it's going to work. Wait. That's fine.
Yes.
That's exactly what he wanted.
Okay, we're going to start recording. If Pate wants a Walmart pizza, you could get one.
It's fine. We'll be fine. I'll get stuff after we record. Give it a clap. That's how it's done.
Good, strong form. Wave form. Okay. We're rolling on the camera?
Oh, yeah.
We have been.
This whole time.
Click. Alrighty.
Was that focus it? It's like,
I hope so.
it's a screenshot. Oh. New cover.
Hello. Welcome to This Podcast Is Not For You. My name is Mitch Lowe.
Nice.
Oh, it's not up there. I just know it.
Oh, I thought my name.
Sorry.
My name is Cop Shop.
Okay.
It's it's the first thing I saw.
First thing you see.
My name's Peak Pricing.
Okay. Hello. Hello, Peak Pricing. His name's Price, Peak Price, but we just call him Pricing. It's funnier that way.
Yeah.
We today are going to be talking about movie theater subscription services. And so first and foremost, to our Patreon subscribers, I want to say thank you so much for being a Patreon member. Thank you for being a nodder. And
thank you for supporting Patreon.
Yes, thank you for supporting Patreon. Thank you for supporting This Podcast Is Not For You. As we all have known, we call you guys the nodders. So thank you so much to the nodders out there watching and listening. We are going to be talking about one of my favorite business developments. Probably, definitely not in my lifetime. The favorite one is probably the iPhone. But this one has revolutionized the theater industry. So it is, as you can see from the title, if you're watching, as you can see from my hoodie and the visual aids on the table, movie theater subscriptions. Relatively new thing in terms of, well, shoot, it's probably in its infancy stages if you're talking the life of the movie theater. But
still holding his shirt down.
It's very, very new, spurned by the social experiment I like to call MoviePass. I like to call it that.
You like to call it that. Nobody else does.
I like to call it that. Pate likes to call it that. Everyone else likes to call it that. But we like to call it that. That's the main thing.
The thing is, this episode's being recorded in 2018. MoviePass is still a thing.
Right.
And we all love it.
We can't wait to tell you guys
This is a promotion for MoviePass.
We can't wait to tell you guys about it.
Invest in MoviePass.
HMNY. HMNY. So, MoviePass was founded in 2011. Little known fact, actually. They played around with various subscription models before 2017. Some of them were $50. Some of them were $75, depending on where you lived. Other ones had, like, different levels of subscriptions. But really, in 2017 is when they hit the YouTube exclusive content.
Jay's been holding. Oh, okay.
If you want to know what we're laughing about, head on over to YouTube and watch.
The episode.
I was gonna say something else, but I couldn't think of anything else.
Just watch.
Just head on over to YouTube and watch. Yes. So in 2017 is when they broke onto the scene in terms of public recognition. I remember where I was when I signed up, when I heard about it. It took me all of 10 seconds to say, this sounds too good to be true. I'm absolutely signing up.
When you
right
told
now.
me about it, I was like, what?
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense.
It was too good to be true. Still is.
Spoiler.
But sign up, though.
Right, in 2018. So what happened in 2017, and you probably know this, if you're a listener of our podcast, then you've probably heard of us talk about the movie theater experience, blah, blah, blah. And I don't want to focus too much on MoviePass, but they're really the father of it all. And so I think in 2017, the majority stake of the company was sold to an analytics firm, Helios and Matheson. And again, that's a analytic company, data-driven. And so the plan was to increase the size of their user base in order to analyze viewing habits for targeted advertising, which sounds great. It sounds like the Facebook model, the Instagram model, the Google model of getting users and then profiting off of your users based on data. And at this time, data was, I mean, it still is, but it was a billions of dollar a year industry. I mean, companies sell our whatever. I mean, viewing habits, our spending habits. They sell that to companies for advertising all the time. And so I think that's what Mitch Lowe was wanting to do. And so that was the plan when they sold it to the analytics firm Helios and Matheson. In June of 2018, which is probably 12 months after they changed plans to the $9.99 a month, they hit 3 million subscribers, which is crazy because I think when I signed up, it was summer of 2017, and I don't even think I've said this yet, but it was MoviePass was unlimited movies for $9.99 a month.
Yeah, truly unlimited.
That's it. I mean, there's no more gimmicks. There's no more ifs, ands, or buts. At the time of that press release, $9.99 a month for any movie, any time, any day.
Yeah.
And
go to
any theater.
10 movies a day if you want.
Any theater.
And the mechanics of it were unique too. It's like you're picking the movie and it's loading the money
the
prepaid debit card
onto the debit card, and that's what you're buying the ticket for or with.
Yeah.
Which was so bizarre to me whenever I heard it. I was like, how does this make any financial sense?
How is it secure too?
Yeah.
It was really, really cool. Now, before that, they did, like, you got on your computer and you printed out a voucher and you brought the voucher to the theater. But when the $9.99 thing was going on, they printed you a debit card, prepaid debit card, and they sent it to you. Now, as we all probably could have guessed, it was too good to be true. They started
hemorrhaging money, essentially.
Yes. They were coming in $40 million under quarter after quarter after quarter.
Right.
And I mean, and the downside is a lot of people, I think, were taking advantage of the system, which is just an absolute shame because why can't you just do what you're supposed to do? I know people checked in for movies, paid for the ticket, left just to get the rewards points. So at some point, the company had to step in. They implemented peak pricing, which, you know, if you went at 7, 8, or 9, you had to pay a surcharge just so they could generate some revenue from you. Limited showings, like not everyone was seeing the same thing on their apps, which month-to-month payers were seeing more showings because they were technically getting more money out of month-to-month subscribers, but people that paid for a year were seeing less movies. And
before we move off of that time, I remember this point being like when we were going to the theater every day, and
actually watching a movie.
Packed. Like, it was the most packed I've ever seen that movie theater for a couple months straight. I mean, it was every night. It was just completely full.
Yeah, and I was living in California at the time. I got it slightly later than both of you guys. And I was living in California at the time. Oh, what is happening?
It was absolutely packed. So look at this picture. Does it look good?
Oh, it's not on there anymore.
So here's a picture. Just packed.
Let me see it.
Make sure the camera's in focus again.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's every night, though. I mean, we're talking
Yeah,
Monday
you can see it.
Monday through Sunday, it was that packed. It wasn't just like
Yeah, you're good.
weekends. It wasn't just weekends and stuff. It was every night.
Right.
Yeah, it was.
And was everybody using MoviePass?
There was a lot of
It
people
sure
using
seemed like
MoviePass,
it.
yeah.
I mean, how many people went to the theater like that before? So yeah, it was crazy.
So the thing is, Jake broke both of his arms, and he's got him in a sling. And the hoodie actually is built to help him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, they started changing their business practices, super shady, changing people's passwords against their permission, so people couldn't access their account and go see movies.
Oh, wow,
and-
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, it was a bunch of stuff, and so they went out of business. But the seal was broken, and thus it was time for the movie theater subscription era in Hollywood, and it was exciting. It was, because at the time, major theater chains were vehemently against MoviePass. AMC came out publicly and said, we will not support MoviePass. And the best part about it is it's a debit card. Well, you want me to tape over MoviePass so you think it's a normal debt? It's like, you're going to take my money.
Yeah.
Your ticket booth guy that you're paying $9.50 an hour is not going to care whether this is a MoviePass card or not.
Yeah.
So, but the companies came out against it. But
They're getting the money either way.
that's what I don't understand.
Yeah.
That's absolutely what I
Well,
never
and
understood.
the thing about MoviePass was like anyone with even kind of like a somewhat sense of business could look at MoviePass and go, something does not seem like
Yeah, we were
right.
2-3 recent college graduates at the time.
Mm-hmm.
We just figured up how many movies we saw a week versus how much they cost versus how much we paid monthly.
Mm-hmm.
And we just multiplied that. They were losing, just generally, they had to be losing hundreds of millions of dollars.
yeah.
I mean, there's no question.
And
Well,
that's,
on
Because
one person.
based on how many users they got, we figured
Yeah.
it up after they got 1 million,
yeah.
because that's an easy number to go off of.
Mm-hmm.
We figured up after 1 million, calculated how many average times you go to the theater and all that kind of thing. Anyway, it was like hundreds of millions of dollars they would be
Right.
in the red. And we were like, well, this isn't going to last.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Which, I mean, that's a Silicon Valley model. Grow your user base and then start
Pay for it
profiting
later.
off of them. But they just, that's
We're
why.
never able to.
That's why I thought it would. I honestly thought it would work. To the tune of 300 HMNY shares at the price of $15. I thought it would work, and so they, because it's I don't know. You could say eventually they can bring enough people to the theater. They'll say, "Give us a cut of concession prices. Look at your concession stand lines." And I thought that would happen, and I thought that they would be able to sell targeted ads to people on their app, which I just never happened, and so. Yeah, it was insane, and they just never got to that point where...
I think any business coming in to try and invest in MoviePass was like,
Yeah,
They got to look at their books. One
Yeah.
look at their books,
Yeah,
and they're like,
that's the
"Eek."
problem. Yeah. So they were... AMC was against it, Regal was against it, Cinemark was against it, but they've all implemented their own services at this time.
they were against it because it wasn't theirs. Let's be real.
For
Yeah.
sure. 100%.
That was the only reason.
Be-
Because they immediately saw like, crap.
Mm-hmm.
We could be doing that and we can actually profit off of it more so than just this third party company.
For sure, yeah. Because basically all MoviePass was a bank for people.
Yeah.
I mean, you were taking out... They were giving you a no interest... I guess it wouldn't be a loan.
It's
It'd
not
just
a
be
loan.
No, yeah.
It's an advance.
Yeah.
Essentially.
It's so...
That you
That
don't
they
have to
never-
pay back.
that you
Yeah,
don't have to pay
yeah.
back in full.
So yeah, the theaters were against it, and now they all have their ones. But at that point, it showed a demand for the theater experience at an affordable rate, even as box office numbers in terms of attendance and cost have been tumultuous, to say the least. According to a Business Insider study, the average cost of a movie ticket has jumped 53% in 15 years. Now, that is from $5.81 in 2002 to $8.90 in 2017. So,
which is lower than our ticket prices here.
yes.
Our Joplin ticket prices are notoriously high because there's one theater in Joplin.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's all the MoviePass model was based on the national average
Yeah.
ticket price. So, but 2017 also saw the lowest number of tickets sold since 1995. But in 2018, box office revenue hit an almost $12 billion dollars, which was an all-time high. So that's why I said it's kind of like the box office is all over the place. People aren't going,
Well,
but
it's because at higher ticket prices and releasing, and it's the studios changing to that we're gonna put it all on this one big movie. We're gonna put it all on Avengers Endgame. That is our bet.
yeah,
That everybody is going to come see it. So ticket prices are lower, but everyone went to see the one thing, and it
Ticket prices are higher, but
sorry.
quantity sold is lower.
Yes.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah,
More
that's what I
bang
meant.
for each ticket.
Right. So that's why that disparity happens, is like they're charging more, so the box office revenue is higher even though tickets are lower, and it's all in a couple movies. It's not like it's evenly spread out.
Yeah.
It's like it's one movie
Yeah,
in the year that makes $1 billion.
yeah.
Everything else is just like trickling
Breaking
in.
even.
I mean,
Yeah.
sure, we could look it up. I mean, 2018 was probably Infinity War or Endgame.
Had to be one of them.
So, I mean, that definitely broke $1 billion. So there's 8% of your year-long revenue just in
It had
one
to be
movie.
Infinity
So,
War. Endgame
Yeah.
was 2019. I have no idea.
we don't know.
We have no idea, and we have no way of knowing
So,
because we're in 2018. We don't know.
yes, we don't. That's an estimated.
Interstellar 2018?
No. That
No.
came out in
Dunkirk
14,
would have come
15,
out.
something.
Dunkirk.
But anyway, so that's kind of the thing is people want to go to the theater, and they will if a select time, a few times a year.
Because ticket prices are so high.
Yes, it's because shoot, if it's a date, $25 for your tickets. Oh, you want a popcorn? Yeah, sure, okay. There's another $9, $34 all of a sudden just to go sit in a theater for 2 hours, and so,
If you're taking a family,
yeah, forget about it.
forget
Yeah.
about it.
So I just thought we should set the scene with all of that. It's a lot of research, but it's important background information, I think, to where the era, the environment that these all came from. So I just thought, let's go over the advantages of the subscription services from a consumer standpoint now. So these are not the businesses. These are, what do we see as advantages to subscription services?
Okay, I just wanted to make sure it was still recording. The thing was doing weird.
I would say the the main thing is, besides the obvious things, is the freedom to be able to go. I don't know. There's something about it being. So right now we have Regal Unlimited. That's the next, and we'll talk about it, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
But essentially, what all of them are now is a form of what MoviePass was, which is you go whenever you want for the most part. Something about that is you can just walk up to the theater and get a ticket, whereas in the past it was more, I don't know, something about it had to be more planned. It feels like, even though you had the same ability to go walk up and get a ticket
Right.
It's
previously.
because you're not planning on dropping $20.
Yeah, it's already paid for.
Yeah.
So
The budgeting aspect of
Yeah.
it, the pre-planning of like
Right.
the budget.
Friday night, I don't know. I think
Yeah.
I'd rather just stay at home and cook
Yeah.
or whatever
Yeah.
than pay $50.
I can see that.
or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there's obvious reasons. I just feel like that one was a weird one that
Yeah.
jumped in. But
Yeah.
I mean, the big ones are the cost as a consumer is much lower. If you go, all you have to be able to do for the context that I have is about $20 a month. If I go 3 times or even 2 times,
Mhm.
that's paid for itself.
Yeah.
and we go all the time if we can.
Yeah.
You know.
For me, it is eliminate. Well, you say on here,
Yeah,
time time is the new commodity.
Yeah, YouTube exclusive content. On my outlines, I'll always just put my own.
Sure.
These aren't ones that you guys have to pick.
Right.
It's just so I don't forget.
But
Yeah.
that absolutely rings true for me. Like, it has eliminated.
No, for the audio version, say what you.
Okay.
I just cut you off for the YouTube exclusive content, but for this one, yeah.
So for me, time is the aspect that is now the factor for deciding whether or not I want to go. I don't care anymore whether or not I want to spend the money. You know, it's just like, okay, do I want to take that time and go for 2 hours to see this movie? Because it doesn't matter what it costs or not. Whereas before I was like, I don't know if I want to pay to see that in theaters. Now it's just like, do I want to devote 2 hours of my time? And that's just because I have different like life priorities than other people. Like I'm married and I have a dog. My wife and I have plans or something. So like it's more segmented time. I can't just go whenever.
Yeah.
But it has eliminated any concern of like, can we work this into our budget for the month for me to go to a movie or two? It's no, it's just $20. It's done. I can just go. So that's the biggest thing I think is an upside for me is like, if I have the time to go, I can just go.
Yeah.
And not worry about it.
Yeah.
And you guys also having it, we can go to the movies whenever we want all together.
Because you had a sort of a different experience when you lived in California with it, right?
I had MoviePass, but I only went sometimes.
Yeah.
Because I was going by myself most of the time, which doesn't bother me. I don't mind going to movies by myself.
Yeah.
But being here with MoviePass would have been very different. I would have been there all the time with you guys.
It was.
And also moving back here, it's been
you saw the picture.
It's been different too moving back here because with everything having been delayed or postponed, for the majority of the time I've been back here and had Regal Unlimited, there hasn't been anything being released. Like,
that's for the most part.
Yeah.
The past couple months is the first time stuff is actually starting to come out again.
Yeah.
No Time to Die is the first major release I've seen in a while. Tenet was like a halfway thing, and then it shut down again.
Yeah.
But, so there hasn't been a huge opportunity for me to use Regal that much yet. We saw something else recently at Hollywood theaters. I can't remember what it was, or at Regal. I always call it
I think the other aspect is the communal part of it, which is cool. Just other people that also have unlimited. It's pretty easy to call, like to text somebody and be like, "Hey, let's go see this."
Right.
And I don't know. There's a lot of ways that they can improve on it too, I think.
Yes, that's the thing about the prospect of it is so exciting because the service on a whole is so new, and like Wes has mentioned, they haven't even been getting user data for 12 months out of its, and literally
they suspended payment for
a
long time because,
which sounds like a bad thing, but it was a good thing.
Right.
They suspended
charging anybody.
Withdrawals from people's accounts.
Yeah, like because my dad got 12 months for my fiance Chelsea and my brother and my sister-in-law for Christmas in 2019. So they literally used it for 2 months, and then the theater shut down, and then they haven't really been able to use it again until now, which is just crazy to think about. So yes, the service is so new that it's exciting because, dude, it could get even cooler. The benefits could get even better. They could unlock, like, you could do tiers. You could do, so there's so many cool things that they could do with it. And whether or not they do, I mean.
Yeah.
The other factor involved in that is, like, if people start coming back to movies or not. Or
they also seem to really care about it because they've done a lot of ads for it.
Yeah.
I just mean in an industry sense.
Captain Unlimited, Dr. Explorer.
You forget Captain Unlimited.
It's going to be interesting to see if the industry has shot itself in the foot or not in terms of box office and theater releases by a lot of studios releasing to streaming simultaneously. I think a lot of people are going to say, I'll pay $20 to just watch it at home. And while that's unfortunate, I understand it from a just convenience aspect.
Yeah.
I get it. Like, it would be so much easier for me to just like, oh, that's out. I can just watch it at home on my TV with
I think that I don't know. I hope it never comes to this kind of thing, but I think that the people that make the best movies are the ones that understand what the theater's value is.
Absolutely.
And I think that you're talking about Tarantino, you're talking about in terms of biggest names.
Mm-hmm.
Tarantino, Nolan, Spielberg, Ridley Scott. I mean, you're talking about the biggest names in movie making right now.
Mm-hmm.
And for a long time, I don't think they would stand for a complete theater shutdown.
Yeah.
I'm not suggesting that
I
it
think
would
they
get
go
to
on strike,
that.
to be honest with you.
I'm not suggesting it to get to that. I'm just interested to see how it impacts subscription services to theaters, and if it makes them viable or if it becomes a profit loss for theaters because no one's buying it because people are not going to the theater nearly as much. I'm not suggesting that it's going to cause the
Well, and I think that's
the death of theaters. It's
where
just gonna-
I think that's where the unlimited ideas meet halfway with customers.
I hope so. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's more. Maybe you have on a smaller scale 100 users. Let's just say 100 that give you $20 a month. That's more beneficial than 20 people that go to 2 movies a month.
Yeah.
Or whatever. If you have more users paying less money, that's better.
Yeah,
And I hope that's what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, passive income is the name of the game in
Yep.
terms of retail right
Yep.
now, just in every
Yep.
area of
Because
retail.
it costs you money to have someone walk up to you and purchase a ticket at the
Mhm.
and whatever.
Yeah,
Right.
but yeah, especially. I don't know. I was trying to find. I was trying to find box office numbers pre-subscription service and post, but so much of the post subscription
impacted by
boom is
COVID.
So
Yeah.
I was trying to find those numbers, Wes, to see if that
I
has
know that
impacted them. But
the major releases recently have been now No Time to Die, which I haven't seen any box office numbers yet on that, but
Yeah.
Shang-Chi
mm-hmm.
was the big Marvel release that Marvel was kind of gauging how they're going to move forward in terms of their releases, and it did well.
They were pleased.
They were pleased
Yeah.
with the box office numbers that it had, so they're not delaying anything else anymore. So that might be an indication, at least a studio like Marvel is happy enough with the numbers that they got that they're okay to go back to a normal movie release schedule. It's going to be interesting to see what Warner Brothers does next year, because the whole streaming
Debacle.
theater thing ends after 2021, right?
I don't know.
I don't think it continues into 2022.
I think it was only a number of movies that were signed. I don't think it was a time frame, was it?
It was every Warner Brothers movie for at least 2021.
Okay.
That had a major theater release was also being released on HBO Max.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens as the movie industry moves back into their normal operations, to see if they push the simultaneous home release aside or if they continue that.
I will say, and I just looked it up. I wanted to confirm it before I mentioned it. Venom did have the biggest 3-day. Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage, had the largest 3-day opening since COVID shut down the theaters.
Oh, so it did better than even...
That includes Tenet.
Wow.
That includes Shang-Chi. That includes any movie released, which is crazy. When I read the headline a couple last week, I guess, and I was like, that's insane. But
So people are going to see that,
Hey,
huh?
man.
yeah.
Whatever it takes to keep theaters open.
Yeah.
Really?
So
Whatever it takes.
As long
Peyton?
as I get to watch French Dispatch when it comes out,
Yeah, that's true.
I don't
Dune.
care.
what were you saying before that?
I was just saying it's going to be interesting to see what happens fully post-pandemic
Yeah.
stuff to the subscription service.
Yeah.
Like if it's successful or not, because we don't know. That was all I was saying.
There's so little
Yeah.
use of it, I guess, thus far. A couple advantages that I saw were personally, just for me, like I said, if you guys are a longtime listener of the podcast, you know this. I will go to the theater a lot.
This is insane.
Yeah, I will go to the theater like a lot. So for me, there's a lower barrier of entry.
It's the longest bit he's ever done.
Will I?
You had to say something about it. Now he has to do it the whole episode.
know.
Oh yeah, for sure, no question.
My mistake.
I'll rush the episode if that's what it takes, but I will do it the whole time.
The arms fall
I
asleep.
can't wait until after. You can be like,
So there's a lower barrier of entry. I will see movies that I definitely would not have seen without
yeah.
a subscription.
I
a
did
great
that. I
benefit.
definitely
Yeah.
did that with MoviePass whenever it was going because it was an even better deal
Yeah,
than
for sure.
this.
Yeah,
Like one of the first dates my wife and I went on was to see Deadpool 2, and I was like,
why not?
why not? I've got
Yeah.
MoviePass,
Yeah,
so
yeah. And then more, which is a funny little thing to say that it's like, hey, let's go see this weekend. This was the MoviePass era. Let's go see this weekend. I don't really feel like it. Do you not have MoviePass? Like that was the question.
Mhm.
You're like,
Yeah.
oh, you don't have.
You must not have
Yeah,
MoviePass.
and then or like if you're dating someone that didn't have MoviePass, it was like the worst thing in the entire world. You're like, to pay for the freaking ticket. It's so
just
great.
get MoviePass.
Yeah.
I'll pay you $10 a month to get it.
I did. I think I paid for Valentine's Day that year. I think I gave Chelsea just like a bunch of money, and I was like, just sign up for MoviePass and pay for 6 months or whatever. It was so funny. But then yes, for me personally, more money also freed up to support the theater with concessions.
Yeah.
And that's really where they make their money anyway.
Mhm.
So
And with the rewards with Regal, that's where I spend all the points is on concession stuff.
yeah, yeah. So you can go and a lot of, I guess, I don't know, I'm certainly not better than anyone else, but it's like I don't think a lot of consumers think about supporting with their purchases, you know. And so personally for me, I was like, oh, that's great. I can go get a drink, and we've already been over it. Like I have to at least get a Zap Pack if I'm at the theater.
Definitely.
So, but it doesn't matter because you go from spending $14 on a ticket to spending $10. You saw a movie and you got popcorn and you got a drink
Yeah.
for less than for a ticket originally, which is so it still feels like a deal.
What is the regular ticket price now in Joplin? Is it like 12 something?
I think it's 14.
Good lord.
Yeah.
I think prime time is 14. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
and then I
absolutely
think
insane.
12 is senior. And I don't.
Matinee's like 10 or 11.
Yeah,
It's extortionate in Joplin.
They
And
don't-
always has been.
Yeah,
They keep saying that there's rumors that a new
Yeah.
theater's popping up,
Yeah.
but it has not
It's
happened.
never
Yeah.
going to happen.
Except for Bookhouse Cinema. If you
Bookhouse
want
is
to check
there.
out an independent
not
theater
really
that's awesome, Bookhouse
Siphoning
Cinema.
off too much business from.
They will
Regal.
be if Regal doesn't get French Dispatch.
It's
We'll
true.
be
There you
seeing
go.
that. I did reach out to Bookhouse probably 2018, and I was like, just as a
Can we
supporter, Kit, is there something here to do a subscription service for you guys? Because I would love to do that. I would absolutely sign up for that and they just said no. So that's the downside of a lot of local theaters is they don't want to adapt to anything new. Or
Well, it would cost them quite a bit
Yeah.
to try to come up with some kind of infrastructure for that. I would
Yeah, I
think.
don't know that local independent theaters are going to be capable of doing something like a subscription.
I
Because
disagree. Yeah, I think I've looked into it, doing it for the coffee shop, and I don't think if you wanted to do it, you could do it, but it wouldn't
Can you
be
do
to
it
the
through
level
Square?
of. You can, yeah.
okay.
So Square has subscription services now.
well, part
You
of it
can
is
just-
they're paying to get the movie, and I don't know how much they have to pay.
right.
It probably depends on the movie, but if how much they're paying to screen the film doesn't come out to whatever, then it's not going to be worth it for them. But they do make money on food there, so
And their food is good.
yeah.
So little section on Bookhouse Cinema in Joplin, Missouri.
Anyways,
So I just wanted to talk about what subscription service we use.
we all use Regal because
Regal
it's all we
Unlimited.
have here
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
in terms of major chains.
I don't.
We considered AMC for a minute.
Yeah, because there's an AMC 30 minutes away ish.
Where, is that Pittsburgh?
Mm-hmm. But it's a dump. I mean, the
Yeah.
theater's not. I mean, people drive there because it's $2 on Tuesdays. It's like
Yeah.
that's why, and it's worth $2. So,
Yeah.
not that our theater's great, but it's like I'm not driving 30 minutes to sit in a theater where all the seats are the same level horizontally. So
Yeah.
if there's
Yeah.
someone tall in front of you, you ain't seeing
That's
the
the
screen.
downside
Like,
of this theater, and when you have a theater with no competition, they can jack up the prices, and they don't have to take care of the theater
Yeah,
because nobody else has a choice.
yeah,
Which is one reason probably why this theater suffers is because they don't remodel it.
yeah. I had a buddy. Before COVID, he was the he worked his way up to the assistant manager at our Regal, and he literally, when Tenet came out, he was still working there, and he's like, yeah, they started giving some of the government money to like branches to like remodel and stuff, and they literally called and told us we don't have to do anything to your theater. So it's like, yeah, that's 100% what it is. But yeah, anyway, so we all use Regal Unlimited. My favorite part, personally, of Regal Unlimited is the concession stand discount.
10% off.
That's nice. Doesn't sound like a lot, but it adds up.
Yeah.
And especially when you consider that you still get Regal points.
Yes.
Which I think their rewards program is actually really good. I think
that's the biggest upside for me is the rewards points.
I don't know the dollar value, but it doesn't take you that long to get to a free ticket that you can give to someone going with you.
It takes even less time to get to like a free popcorn or something.
I think their rewards program is really good, and that helps. The discount helps that.
Yeah, like Pate said, you get points. You get rewards points for your subscription bill. So let's say it's $20 a month, or you get 2,000 points every month for sure. Just because, so they do give you points for that, which some of the services don't. We'll talk about a few of the individual services later, but yeah, I love the concession stand discount. I love the fact that you can book seats for your friends on the app. So if, like, the other day we were like, let's go see No Time to Die. Zach said he was in. I just booked all of their seats on my phone using all of our unlimited. So it wasn't like, okay, you get this. I'm seat H9. Okay, you get that. Your seat H8.
I didn't know you could do that. That's
you can
news to me.
add friends.
It's such a strange.
I knew you could do that. I didn't know you could get reserve their seats for them.
But once they're on there, you can do that for them, which is awesome. So, like, part of what Pate said is like, there's a lot of cool stuff they can do with it. So, but that's definitely one of my favorite.
They can make
features.
that aspect even better because it's not super clear.
Yeah,
it's a little murky.
I would not have known about it if Eric hadn't told me.
Yeah,
like they haven't advertised that.
It's like Xbox game sharing,
right?
It's like kind of
hack.
Yeah.
Wait, we really can do this? Yeah, you can. Anyway, do we feel like we go to the movies more now than we did pre-subscription?
I go about the same amount, maybe slightly more, but that's more just due to time constraints, more so than the want or like budget reasons to go.
Yeah.
Like, it's just I don't always have time to go as often as I used to.
Right.
And some of it for me is, even if I could see it for free, there's some stuff I just don't care. Especially now, I don't care about wasting my time.
Like Jungle Cruise?
Like Jungle Cruise. That was exactly what I was thinking. It read my mind. Yeah, it's just like, I'm not going to waste my 2 hours doing that. I'm going to do something else more productive or whatever. So, but I would say about the same, maybe slightly more. There's some borderline movies that I'll go and see if everyone's going to see it,
Whereas before you'd be like, I'm definitely not paying $14 in Joplin, Missouri to yeah,
for sure.
I love going to the cinemas.
That's it.
And that's it. I definitely go way more than I did before.
I thought you were going to say
way more than I should. Like, if you guys see me out there next time, just tell me to go home. I definitely go way more post MoviePass era, or current MoviePass era, than I used to. Just, and mine was money. It's like I don't want to pay. I would go once or twice or 3 times a year for movies that I absolutely want to see in theaters. That was what I would do.
But now coming up, there's like one day where 4 movies we all want to see is coming out.
Oh my gosh, it's going to be the best day ever.
Ultimate Thursday.
But I'm like Jake. I like, the thing I like about the theater is not necessarily just the movie. It's the getting your stuff and like,
it's all of it. It's so strange.
Yeah, I don't even know how to describe it, and it's really lame to try and describe it, I think. But it's
I like when I walk in and I like walk up to the counter. It's like,
exactly.
That doesn't sound cool, but
waiting in line and you're talking about it, and then
something about
the big thing is like seeing it with people, and that's you can do that at home, I guess, but that doesn't happen that often.
But in this, they're all equally invested.
Yeah,
with their time, with their money, so it's different for some reason.
My favorite part, obviously, is doing the post movie circle.
After,
either outside or in the lobby.
I think the thing that you're trying to describe, going to the theater feels timeless.
Yeah.
If you feel like you're 12 again going to a movie every time you walk into
Yes.
a movie theater, but it's something that a lot of people have stopped caring about.
Yeah.
And so I think going to the theater for you guys and for me, I know it's like when I go in, it feels like, yeah, this is how you're supposed to
Watch a movie.
watch a movie.
Yeah.
It's like you go in, you get your ticket, you get your popcorn, you go sit down,
Yeah.
you talk a little bit.
It's classy.
Yeah. There's something timeless about it, even though things are radically different than they used to be.
Yeah.
You're essentially doing the same things that people did when movies started.
In the 20s and 30s.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And to that, and it's sort of, I meant to say it on the whole Wes hopes it never gets to this point where, streaming, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I was begging for the new Jake Gyllenhaal movie, The Guilty, Netflix original, to get a theater release. By begging, I mean, I guess I was just commenting on every Netflix post about it and every Jake Gyllenhaal post about it. But it didn't, I think it got a 30 theater release. Like, I think that was it. And we watched it. It was fine. I think I told Pate, I was like, I bet I would have liked it more if it was in a movie theater. And I don't know why.
The thing about those 30 theater releases now, it feels like it's just for critics.
Yeah.
For critics
It's to
go to the
technically
theater
be
in
it's to
Eligible,
technically be
right?
considered for awards.
yeah. LA, New York, yeah.
Which is, but it still also felt like a Netflix movie. And I get it. Like Jake's idea for it was like, it's sort of a pseudo bottle movie. Like, so it could feel low budget already. Very much like Locke
It's a
or
remake,
Buried.
right, of a European
It's
film.
inspired by, so I haven't seen the original, but totally could be. Yeah. But yeah, I definitely go to the movies more. And I think, part of it is it's very strange. It's very, very different. I love talking to the people that are working at the movie theater. I absolutely love it. I think if I didn't do what I do now and we had a better theater, or maybe even if we didn't, I would want to work there. And just because I'm freaking.
I worked there my freshman year of college, after my freshman year of college, and it was one of my
Is it still Hollywood?
Yes,
Yeah.
it was still Hollywood at the time. It's still one of my favorite jobs that I've ever had. It wasn't the best or
Right.
anything like that, but it was fun.
Yeah.
Like, I was just at the movie theater all day, and I got to stick my head into movies and got to go to movies for free because I worked there. And
yeah.
Peyton and I went and saw Inception at an employee screening the night before it came out at 1 a.m, and it was one of the best. That was one of the best movie experiences I've ever had.
Same. I think we talked about it.
So, yeah, working in a theater,
Yeah.
super fun
I
job.
always feel like that when we go into B&B.
Yes.
B&B feels like a really cool
Yeah.
environment to work at.
Yep.
And
They're
there's
hiring-
a lot of independent theaters.
They're hiring a new general manager. If you are in the Neosho, Missouri area, the independent theater chain B&B Theaters is officially hiring a
have not
new
been to
assistant
B&B yet.
manager.
It's awesome.
It's
Yeah.
really cool. And the people there, it's a
It's
shame
like a
because
local Alamo Draft House.
the old manager was awesome. And I rented out B&B Theaters. We all watched the last Lord of the Rings together, and they were super helpful. It was super cheap, and affordable is a better businthis term. It was super affordable. And it was great. So I also enjoy B&B Theaters. But yeah, dude, I don't know. There's this little just graduated high school kid, and he's writing his first script. And I talk to him every time I see him at Regal, and I'm like, dude, how's the script coming? He's like, dude, I'm almost done. And
Whoa.
I haven't seen him since I got back from tour, which I'm really bummed about because I was gonna have him send it to me when I was gone, and I could just read it and let him know. But yeah, it's just I don't know. There's something about talking to the people that work at the movie theater. It's really fun for me. And yeah, Eric, I'm pretty good buddies with Eric, and that only is because I met him at the movie theater, and then we were doing school visits for College Heights, and he was a senior in high school. And I was like, dude, you're the guy from the movie theater. I sit with him at lunch, and it was it was really cool. So
The other thing about the subscription thing is, it's a middle of the road point where I feel like a
I know what you're trying to do. I'm just telling you. What are you telling him? He's trying to get me to let go.
No,
Yeah, he was.
I was not.
trying to get me to-
I like that it's getting lower, though. Your hands are...
Anyway, I think it's a good price point for people that are casual movie fans too.
Yeah,
I think it's a good
especially for a family.
yeah. It's
Being able
not
to-
some crazy $100 a month thing that only crazy cinephiles would get.
Mhm.
Right. It's a nice, like, it's a deal. Almost any theater, not just ours.
But it's not like MoviePass financially, suicidal.
Yeah.
Yes.
Kind of.
Yeah. No, I
Price
think,
point.
and that's
We were talking about that in MoviePass here. It's like $20 is what they should be charging.
Yeah.
We were like, it should be around that
yeah,
much because
Yeah.
not everyone's gonna go more than one time a month.
yeah,
Some people won't have the time. If you
Yeah.
don't have the time, they're still making a little bit of money on you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
If you only go once a month.
yeah,
So
I'm like the
It makes sense to
ideal.
me.
I'm like the ideal customer for a movie subscription service.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be some months where I will go 3 or 4 times, but then there's going to be a month where I maybe don't go at all.
yeah.
So I'm like exactly who
Mm-hmm.
subscription services are aiming for.
The other-
You guys are not.
the
Like,
other
you
thing
guys
is too,
are
like if
making-
I really like going with people. So
Sure.
if I have the opportunity to pay for someone's ticket, I will do that.
Yeah.
Like to get them to go. This gives me a little bit
Because you
more
can.
incentive to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Because you're not paying for yours.
I've already got my
Yeah.
ticket. I may have an extra ticket from Regal Unlimited
Mhm.
for my points. It's not that big of a deal for me to get somebody's ticket, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah. What is the? I just real quick. Just wondering, Can you guys remember your favorite movie that you might not have seen if it weren't for
Okay.
a theater subscription?
I mean, I immediately think of when I saw Deadpool 2 because of the personal thing. It was one of the first times my wife and I were hanging out together, just like
Mhm.
socially. And then recently, when we all went and saw Green Knight, and then
Mhm.
for me it was okay. Now I feel like I'm going to be able to start using this Regal subscription service.
Yeah, not
Because
really
I
what I'm
haven't-
talking about.
What do you mean?
You would have saw that anyway. Deadpool 2, probably not.
Probably not.
but
But
yeah, like mine. I guess I'd start, and it's hard to remember. But I literally
Yeah.
had to go back to my MoviePass
Dang, I wish I had.
video. It's a couple of mine. Wind River with Jeremy Renner. It's about an Indian reservation like thriller. Lady Bird. I probably would not have seen Lady Bird. That doesn't sound like something I would have been interested in seeing. But I really enjoyed it. No previews. That's where
Right,
no
no
previews was
previews,
birthed.
yeah.
Phantom Thread probably would have waited to watch that with you.
yeah,
Or, at your house, or wait and I'll wait till I can go with Wes. But I went, loved it. It was great. I probably wouldn't have seen Roadrunner, the Anthony Bourdain documentary. But I'm really glad that I did.
Yeah.
And the most recent one was probably Cop Shop with Gerard Butler.
Yeah.
It was way more fun than I was anticipating. And it was like, that was pretty good.
I've got 2
Okay.
that come to mind. Annihilation, when it came
I
out.
almost thought about that one.
I probably wouldn't have seen it. I wouldn't have paid for a ticket, probably. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good. And then the other one was the rhythm section, which isn't that good. It was Jude Law and Blake Lively. She's like her family gets killed, apparently, and then she becomes like kind of
Hitman kind of thing.
yeah, but it's not. The thing is, that's been done a lot, and it doesn't really. It's a little bit different than that.
It feels more lively.
It's she follows the law.
We'll see you next time, folks.
But I thought that was.
Jude would not believe it, dude.
But I enjoyed that a lot. And those are 2. The other thing I'll throw in there is like, those are a few. There's a few times where I just went by myself, and
Yeah.
that's a cool thing with Unlimited too. Is you are much more inclined to just go to a movie because you don't have to pay for a
Yeah,
ticket
for
for
sure.
yourself.
I was able to use MoviePass a lot more than I have been able to use Regal.
Yeah.
And I don't have the app
Just
anymore.
wait till this upcoming week, dude.
Sure. I don't have the app anymore, so I can't look back on like what I saw. I know
MoviePass.
there was stuff in there that I saw with MoviePass that I probably would not have seen. Deadpool 2 is the most.
I think
Yeah.
to me
Notable.
the main thing is seeing it multiple times. I think again I saw Tenet like 8 times
Yeah.
in theaters,
Yeah.
and I didn't pay for hardly any of them
That's true.
for the ticket anyway.
Yeah.
And Star Wars we saw a bunch with different groups of people.
Yeah.
I saw
I think-
Phantom Thread with MoviePass.
Yeah.
And I saw that probably 2 or 3 times.
So I think it's being able to see things multiple times too.
Yeah.
Because you'd naturally not pay as much. There's levels of, degradation with.
I would not have. I mean, that's not even in my outline. I would not have thought about the multiple viewing. That's absolutely a benefit for sure. Yeah, definitely.
So,
because before you walk out, you'd be like, dude, I want to see that again. I can't wait till it comes out. You know,
yeah, because it's like
that wasn't even on your radar.
I want to see it again, but I also don't want to pay $12.50 again.
Yeah,
you know, or whatever.
And then just thought real quick if anyone has any like, whoa, that was crazy moment because of like a theater subscription. And mine, obviously, it's on the outline. You guys saw it, but when we saw the first A Quiet Place, I mean, it was packed.
Yeah,
it was a who's who.
Yeah,
like
it was a hoot.
The higher ups CIY, like Nick and Luke and me were there. And it I was like, Pate's here. Oh my gosh, Colt's here. Oh my gosh, Nate's here. I mean, it was like, and then no one knew what we were getting into, right? And so it was the best part. It was like,
everyone was really engaged too.
Yeah,
like,
and I just don't think that happens in a non-subscription era.
Yeah,
like borderline. I don't think it would happen without MoviePass because either people don't know about Regal Unlimited, or it's just not that good of a deal, which is possible. Both of those things could be true. It's obviously not as good of a deal. That's a given. It's limited to Regal, and it's double the price. But yeah, I mean, that was really cool. That was really cool.
Yeah, I mean, I hope that more and more people gravitate towards Regal Unlimited and AMC and the subscription, because if it helps theaters, then I think that's the main thing. But it's also it's a relief. It's, it's a I don't know. It's just a little bit of relief for people that are in a market that's like gouging us, essentially.
Yeah, that's true.
So
I think yours is a good. Deadpool 2 is a great one, right? It's like you probably would have done something else, right? So that's really cool. Yeah.
And well, I was gonna say too, I would be less inclined to use something like MoviePass, or not MoviePass, but something like a Regal or an AMC out in California, is because there's different theaters all over the place. And to pick one would be very hard out there because some chains got something and some chains didn't. Here, you got one choice, really. Yeah. And so here it makes so much more sense than out there would be challenging.
Yeah.
And also, like, in LA, too, some of the specific theaters, like downtown, like the big theaters like Chinese or any of the Gromans ones,
Egyptian,
they're not going to be a part of that. They're their own thing. Yeah. So if you're going to go to a cool, like, movie at one of those, you're not going to be able to use it either.
You have to pay for it anyway.
And it's going to be interesting to see if someone takes the actual MoviePass model in the next few years, perfects it, makes it actually viable to where...
like an independent?
To where you can go to any theater.
Yeah.
But that'll be interesting. I don't know if somebody will do that or not.
It'd be interesting if a studio were to do something like that. Like,
I don't know if they
legally can.
Any
I think
Warner Brothers movies you can go see for this much.
Yeah, I don't know if distribution somehow has to be legally different from, like, the production.
It'd also be interesting to see if they start doing, like, reverse. So if you have a subscription to HBO Max, then you can go watch whatever movies they have on their streaming service.
Yeah, that could be cool.
Interesting.
Anyway, just wanted to talk a little bit about movie theater subscriptions. It's a very new thing in terms of their life cycle. So thank you for listening. If you want any information about specific theater plans, that's going to be in the description. I'll just put all the bullet points in there. That way, if you can read it probably faster than we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
But
there's not a lot to comment on.
There's not. Yeah, there's some upsides to some. There's some downsides to them, obviously. But our choice again is pretty easy. We have Regal. So, and I read a couple articles that were comparing them, and it said Regal's the most comparable to what MoviePass was. Yeah. So, anyway, my name is Mitch Lowe.
Let's hear it for Jake because this is
so impressive.
And if you don't know what they're talking about, you're just going to have to watch us. Go to YouTube and watch.
My name was Major Chains.
I am Major Change.
My name is Lady Bird.
Have a great week and go to the movies.
Go to the movies.
And watch.
Big time movies coming out.
Or they already were out.
They could could have already been out, but more coming. It's a big year.